White House. About the best way I can explain it is from a cartoon that was in the New Yorker magazine last year. And this little boy is looking up at his father. He says, "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a former president." You can think about that in a few minutes. That's about the best life you can think of, a former president of the United States of America. I don't have to worry with the Congress. Well, I won't get into that tonight. But when we did come home, we had, you might say, an unlimited agenda or menu from which we could choose. Having been the leader of the greatest nation on earth, having been known and having met almost 100 leaders around the world, having a reputation of having had 3.5 million people working for me every day and being able to manage it fairly well, we could have done anything we wanted to. But it's not an accident that Rose and I have chosen Habitat as our #1 commitment other than our church, in which we could give what we have to others. And I have to say that never has been a sacrifice. I would guess that almost everyone here is blessed in many ways by living in a great and free and safe nation, having an adequate place to live, having a modicum at least of education and health care, being able to speak your mind freely, worship as you choose, and this kind of thing gives us a sense of privilege. But it's very difficult for those people like us to share the blessings that we have with people that don't have any of those things, not even a decent home. I think even the richest people in Denver, Colorado are fairly familiar with and interested in what happens in the education system, because they can be either good or bad elementary and high schools and so forth. And I think everybody in Denver probably is also directly involved in how good a system of health care you have in this area. But all of you, including me, who was born to a family that had a decent house in which to live, we've never had to worry about improving our housing. And that gives us an opportunity to share the blessings that we have experienced with people that are not so blessed. It's a very difficult thing. It's one of the most difficult things in a human being's life. How do you get out of a encapsulated environment that you create for yourself with your own family, your own neighbors, your own classmates, the people that look like you and dress like you and talk like you and go to school kind of like you, and reach out to people, you might say, on the other side of the track? That's not an easy thing to do, even for the most dedicated Christians and Jews and Islam believers. It's not easy to put our religious faith into practice. That's why we chose Habitat for Humanity. Because you cross that barrier without any restraint, and you share what you have, money, time, effort, talent, with people who are in need. And it's not a matter of charity, because Habitat doesn't give away anything except concern and friendship and love sometimes. Because the families that live in a Habitat house have to put in hundreds of hours of sweat equity, we call it, getting the site ready and working on the house during a week like this. And the Habitat families have to pay full price for the house. But if you could buy a house and not to pay interest on it, or very low interest, then you can get a decent home, sometimes for less than you've been paying for a substandard, despicable place in which you and your children are ashamed to live. That's what Habitat does. It gives us a chance to share with each other on an equal basis. Rose and I Gretchen and I have had a chance to build Habitat houses in New York, in Philadelphia, in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Houston, in Miami, in Milwaukee, in Los Angeles, and San Diego, in this country, as well as 3 times in Mexico, and also in South Africa, and also in Hungary on the Danube River, and in South Korea, and in the Philippines, and so forth. We've had a chance to share what Habitat has given us with others. Our biggest project was in the Philippines. We had 14,000 volunteers joined with us for 5 days. And during those 5 days, we began and finished 293 homes. Another very interesting project, we went to South Korea. We built 56 duplexes there. And one of the things that asked me and Rosa to do was to go into the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea and help build 8 Habitat houses. And we did. And about a month later, we were watching television, and President George W. Bush was on TV. He said, "This next week, I'm going to the most dangerous place on earth, the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea." And I turned to Rosa and I said, "That's where we're building Habitat houses last week." I said we had some very interesting experiences. So let me just tell you this in closing. If you want to have a dynamic life, if you want to have an interesting life, if you want to have an adventurous life, if you want to have a gratifying life, if you want to stretch your heart and stretch your mind and become a greater human being in the eyes of whatever God you worship, join and work with and support Habitat for Humanity. That's my message to you tonight. Now it's my very pleasant duty to introduce, I guess, the star of tonight, and that is Angel Mesa and her 4 children. And I'm going to call my wife Rosa out to the stage as well, and we're going to give Angel the key to her brand new house.
Wow. Awesome.
Better than our piece.
You're going to be great supporters of Habitat for Humanity. And getting involved with this wonderful organization touches your heart. And one of the blessings of working with Habitat is getting to meet the homeowners. And today, we were working in the home of Angel. And I was here behind the stage and couldn't see the video, but I was talking to her, so I know a lot about it. And it was so wonderful being with her today because she was so excited. And she's been working on her house for 10 months, getting her hours in. And she said that every time she came back to the site, something was new and different. And she said, they put the steps in and it was just like I was home already. And so it's been a wonderful day for us and just so exciting to meet Angel and her beautiful daughters. And now this is the key to her house, and I'm going to present it.